2026 USS Nationals is coming up fast, so we're going to talk about that today. Go event by event with some advice that we have, and then overall tips and tricks. Get you ready to go.
The first event is the axle clean and press for max, I believe.
Get 3 attempts on that.
Wessel's rule. If you're not familiar with the Wessel's rule, that's basically where you miss an attempt, you are done regardless of what attempt you're at.
So you just want to be careful with the weights that you're picking, because if you miss one, you don't get a second chance. The way you recommend people do it, first attempt, we would say go out and do something you can do every day. Get a feel for it, get yourself ready. Next one, see how that first one went.
Yeah, gauge it.
You know, second attempt, a little heavier, working up close to your PR. And then your third attempt, go for it. Just depending on how everything feels. If your first attempt felt super heavy, play it a little more conservative. If your first attempt felt super light, go ahead and push it. But we'd probably suggest go in with a plan. I think sometimes people let everybody else kind of get in their head, and you're saying, well, this guy didn't go yet, or this person did this much. Have your plan in mind. Only be changing it kind of based on how you're feeling and how that event's feeling for you.
Yeah, have certain numbers in your head. Like I said, you want to get on the board. You don't want to open up too heavy, and 0. That'll suck.
That's a bad way to start the day.
Sets momentum for the rest of the contest.
Yeah,
It's going to be like auction style. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but be mindful that it might be your turn. And you may actually have to follow yourself depending on your weight increments, because I think it's a 10-pound weight increment. So if you're going from, like, say, I don't know, just throwing some numbers out there. If you're starting out at 200 and your next attempt is 210, you might be following yourself. So you may not have a lot of time to recover. So just be mindful of that.
You may want to bring chalk for this. We're assuming there'll be chalk bowls around, but you also have 400 plus people there.
Yeah.
So just bring your own, then you know you've got it. Make sure that you're looking for the down signal. That's always the advice across the board. Don't let yourself get rushed and flustered that you're missing a lift because you're not looking at the judge. Assuming it's nationals, they'll probably be pretty strict.
I've judged nationals in the past, and I have taken reps away from people who cannot lock it out or their feet are scrambling around. So be rock solid, have absolutely 0 question in the judge's mind if you got it or not.
So that one will go auction style. The other events, we're assuming that the order won't change on the other events. It's probably going to be reverse order of entries received. So if you go to Iron Podium now and you take a screenshot of that, you'll know where you're going to go in your group. If you don't take a screenshot of that, once they start putting in the scores, everybody's going to be moving around, and so you won't have a list to be able to compare to. That's just one little tip. Second event is the axle deadlift.
It is not touch and go rep. It's a dead stop every rep. So that makes a huge difference in the amount of reps that you can get in 60 seconds.
Make sure you're training that way so you're used to it, and maybe have somebody there that's going to give you commands.
Just like before with the press, wait for the down command, because if you're going up and down like this, chances are the judge will not give it to you. Also, this goes along with, like, say, the press as well. When your name is called, be ready.
Yeah.
Don't dawdle. Don't decide, well, I'm going to go ahead and put my wrist wraps on,
Yeah.
my elbow sleeves on, my knee sleeves on. I got to adjust my belt. You know.
That's a major Tony pet peeve.
Yeah.
If you're planning on using straps and you haven't been training with them, make sure they fit on an axle.
Try it out now. You don't want to do anything new the day of nationals. That's kind of foolish. Do your experimenting now if you haven't done already. If you have straps, you just assume I'm just going to use them at nationals, and you get there and you find out they're kind of short and they don't really work. Well, be more of a grip workout for you.
The third event is going to be your arm over arm into sled drag. Probably biggest advice on this is not to underestimate it.
No.
The weight numbers look really low. They've said on the entry that there's rubber mats that are going to be glued to the bottom of the sled. The Nationals promoter, he's just put out a video where he was showing himself pulling the heavyweight weight on it.
It didn't look easy. I mean, it didn't look like incredibly hard, but it didn't look easy.
Yeah, it's not just flying. There's definitely some friction there. And I suspect he's just very good at it and making it look fast.
Yeah, most likely.
So if you're thinking that your weight looks low and you're just going to come in and just kind of do one of these numbers, I don't think it's going to happen.
My suggestion is to train it light and heavy. You can alternate it every other session or so, or maybe do it in the same session, but train it both light and heavy. We've had some people contact us And they were, well, why are you guys like extending all the way back? You just use your arms. I suspect with the friction between the sled and the surface, it's going to be more than what you think it's going to be. So I would highly suggest doing a full extension and then pulling yourself up, regripping the rope fairly deep, and extend back again. Try to get as much real estate each pull versus just trying to pull with your arms.
I'm assuming they've been testing it. I don't think that for nationals they just throw out a weight that you're just going to kind of be able to yank across the floor. If you train it light and you train it heavy, then you kind of have that technique in your head for how you want to do it either way. I do think we're going to see some people who are going to come in and not train it at all, thinking that it's going to be so light that, oh, I don't even have to work on that. Wouldn't do that personally.
Might be a shocker.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I have been to nationals in the past where the weights have been light. Just saying.
It could be. They might be helping out, throwing you a light event.
This could be. But I would say definitely train light and heavy.
Watch and listen for the judges, because you're going to have to get it, I'm sure, over a line before you get up and go and pull it the other way. You don't want to get up too fast, run all the way over, start pulling it, and have somebody tell you you're not done, and have to go back and get in position and pull it another 6 inches.
Yeah, pull with aggression. That's
that's a good one. Really get in and do that.
Pull with aggression.
Gloves, we get asked about that occasionally. We're not big fans of gloves for most events.
You can. I think they're allowed.
Yeah.
I would highly suggest not using gloves, kind of toughen up the palms a little bit, because you put a barrier between you and the rope, that barrier is going to slip most likely. And so what people have done, they've taped the glove to their wrist, and then what happens is they pull, and they pull the glove completely off of their hand, but it's still attached to their wrist, and then it's just flopping around, and they can't get their hand back into the fingers, and it's terrible. If you haven't been practicing this, I would highly suggest not using gloves. But if you have, like say if you found a pair that fits really well, they work really well for you, hey, by all means, go ahead and do that then.
Event 4 is going to be your carry medley. That is the farmers into the sandbag ball stone
thingy. We're sitting on them.
Yeah, these sandball. I keep hearing that. I guess
sandball.
Maybe that's what we're calling them. I don't know.
No, they're just sandbags. Sand atlas stone.
So with this one, you get 1 drop per implement. Make sure you have a really good grip on the farmers, and make sure you have the bag the way you want it before you take off, because you don't want to get a couple of steps and you slip with the bag, or you drop the farmers, and then that's your 1 drop. Go ahead and take that extra second to make sure you're getting a really good grip on it. If you need to check ahead of time and make sure that the handles aren't like wet from the person before you, you got chalk, all of that stuff. Get everything ready.
Yeah, we had one of our athletes last year. He rushed the frame. He would have been able to complete the course, but he rushed the frame and he didn't take a proper purchase of the handles, and it cost him a little bit. But he still got a PR in that event.
Yeah, he did well.
He did really well. It just cost him some distance. What's that saying? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yeah.
Just pace yourself. Yeah, because I've seen people that are like really high skilled, and man, they have like super confidence in themselves, and they rush it, and they make a mistake, and then they fumble, and they drop it, and they're like, and then it's a cascading downhill.
Yeah.
After that, practice the transitions. You really need to learn how to move from one implement to the next.
My notes for basically every event, again, watch and listen to the judges. You don't want to drop the farmers and take off running for the sandbag, and then they tell you, no, you had to carry it another 3 inches. Make sure that you're paying attention. Final event is your loading event, and that is the sandbag ball things over bar. We were just doing another video earlier about this. Don't launch the bag. If you have the ability to really shove it over, you have to go around and get it. So the further you launch it, the further you have to bring it back to load it over. It may not seem like a huge thing, but when you're talking about multiple reps, if it's taking you an extra 2 or 3 or 4 seconds, that's reps that you're losing with the time you're having to go and retrieve it and carry it and do all of that.
Definitely. It just cuts out so much more time. I'd say the other thing is pacing yourself. You can go all out, and then, man, you could like knock out a few reps in the first 15, 20 seconds, and then you're dog crap tired.
Gassed.
Yeah, after that. Because we've seen that in training too. Try to pace yourself. So if you can get like a rep every 5 seconds, that's like, what, 12 reps?
Use gloves for this.
I would recommend no gloves.
I guess if you have gloves that you really like, but it just seems like it could get in the way. If they don't have really good grip on them, you don't want it slipping off. I mean, you had said in using these in training, chalk really, you can get a really nice handle on it.
The material, the canvas with the chalk, you have a really good purchase on the bag. So I really don't think you're going to need gloves for this event, in my opinion. And there's a train.
Let's wait for the train. We'll just kind of talk now general advice for nationals. First and foremost, probably weigh-ins.
That's important. You want to get there early if you can, especially if you're just, you're cutting it close. Like say you walk around like usually 5 or 10 pounds up above what for that weight class, and you're gonna cut it really close. Get there early because you don't really know how those scales are gonna weigh compared to your scale. If you get there early, that'll give you plenty of time to cut a little bit of weight if you have to.
Weigh-ins are only the day before, so don't be planning on getting there Saturday and getting weighed in. You got to do it on Friday. If you don't have your hotel and stuff yet, I would suggest getting that taken care of. They're going to have 400 and some people coming into town for this, and I don't know what else is going on in Cedar Rapids. There may be concerts, conventions, whatever. So I wouldn't wait till the last minute on that. Also, we always recommend bring what you need to sleep and be comfortable. We had this conversation a couple years ago with somebody. If you have a fan that you need, if you have a pillow that you need, whatever, it's always going to be harder to sleep when you're someplace new. There's going to be some people that are from Iowa and they get to drive right up. Most people are traveling, so most people are dealing with the same stuff that you're dealing with. Set yourself up for success. Bring the things that you need to sleep. Bring some good snacks. Make sure you have water and stuff for the day. I'm assuming there'll be some food for sale at the venue. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know what. And it's not really the time to try like brand new foods and things like that. Wait till after the competition. You can try a new restaurant. You can see what you think about Indian food then, probably. Probably not the day before. If you don't eat a lot of McDonald's, don't get a big breakfast that day.
Whatever you usually eat,
yeah.
Eat that the day of the contest.
Be prepared for anything. Things can change. I think the last few years they've been getting it where Nationals is running pretty quick.
Yeah.
But you just don't know. Have yourself kind of mentally prepared. It might be a really long day, and it might go really quickly. So just kind of be ready for whatever. If it ends up that you're having to sit there for a couple hours between events, be ready for what you're going to do in that time. And if it's something where you're just going boom, 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 like, be prepared that might be what happens.
Someone that we know, a friend of ours, he competed Nationals, and he got it done in 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
His lane got done 3.5 hours. The time that I competed, I was there for like 13 hours. Ooh.
Oh, it's like a dust devil going through the bank parking lot.
Wow.
Even as they're getting more and more competitors, I think they're just getting better at running them, and everything's going pretty quickly. So I would say it'll probably be a quick, efficient day, but just be prepared in case it's not. Stuff happens.
Yeah, bring snacks and water and etc.
Warm-ups, you don't really know till comp day. I know you've said in the past there was no warm-up, there was no anything. I think they treat the athletes a little bit better now. Last year they had a big warm-up area. They had quite a few pieces of equipment that you could use. You're still dealing with hundreds of people here who are trying to use the equipment. So just be prepared for that. Bring some bands to kind of help keep you warm.
It worked out well though.
Yeah.
I thought the warm-up area was it worked really well.
Yeah.
Last year it was like they had a nice stream of people going through.
Yeah, everybody was just getting in line, going through.
Yeah, it was very well done. Yeah. Good job, John.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's still not going to be like warming up in your gym. You're used to taking. If you're somebody who likes to
take like 7-pound increment jumps or something like that.
Okay, well I'm gonna go for that 300-pound axle. So I'm gonna start at 100 and then do a 110 and a 120 and then 120.
That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, so just be prepared for that. Gym bag, maybe just start working on a list now. All the stuff that you want to bring. If you're driving in, throw some folding chairs in your trunk. I'm not sure what they'll have for athletes and coaches. Last year they had a ton of chairs. They may or may not. So you might want to bring stuff like that and bring a fan in case it's warm. All of the tool brands now, I think, that do battery-powered tools, they do like a little fan. So if you got battery-operated tools, grab one of those. Keep a running list of the things that you might need for it. If you have a lever belt, make sure you got your screwdriver. Photography, they do have a professional photographer again this year. It's the same guy that did last year. He did a great job. He had a great staff. They were everywhere. I was like, these people were like flying through the air doing somersaults.
They were awesome.
They were awesome.
They were awesome.
If you've got friends and family that are there, yeah, you'll be able to get some photos and videos, but it's not going to be at the same level. So if you're kind of on the fence about it and you're thinking about doing it, if you think you want pictures, I'd probably go ahead. I had an athlete last year who had gotten the package. Really nice photos. He's going to get it again this year. Yeah. We would definitely, you know, put a thumbs up for those.
They do a great job.
We're getting close. Right now we're at about 6 weeks out. I don't know when you'll watch this video. A week and a half, 2 weeks right now to the deadline to sign up. So if you're watching this and you were on the fence about signing up, you probably need to get in soon. If you're a Midwest person, you're not going to get a Midwest Nationals here for a few years at least.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe make the trek out if you're on the fence about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you see us, say hi, and we'll be there. And we'll see you in the next one of these.
All right.
Is this the part where I get over there and find out I never hit record?
Oh, no.